So hey guys, I wanted to give you a run over real quick on winterizing and checking and caring for your car. This is my personal car. So your engine is going to look totally different. This one's old. I'd show you on a different car, but I have 4 of these. They're all the same, except some are supercharged, some are not. This is a supercharger. So anyways, I'm going to try to keep this short, but if you're looking at buying a used car, if you're trying to check your own car any time of year, winter, I'd recommend doing it right now. These are the things you need to look at. So lucky for you, I'm a car chick too. But anyways, I'm going to try to do this one-handed because I have the camera too. So, nitrile gloves. Kind of a pain, honestly. You need bare hands for some of this, but I don't want to get super dirty today. And if you don't ever want to get dirty, I highly recommend these because they don't rip super easy. Your rubber and other gloves will. But anyways, so yes, we have bugs on the grill. People have been saying that we don't have bugs this year. We seem to be having some bugs. But anyways, winter. First, let's just go through like a typical checking your fluids. Everyone should know how to do this. I haven't done it this week. I do it weekly. You should do it weekly or before a long trip. So I just figured I'd take you guys along. So I always check the antifreeze overflow. So in most cars, things will be labeled. In most newer cars, these different labels are color coded. And you may not actually have access to a lot of these. And in quite a few newer cars, they are self-contained and not accessible. So if you're not comfortable, I actually suggest going to the dealership. Gulp. I know, but I hate to tell you, those guys that work at AutoZone and O'Reilly's and everything, honestly, I wouldn't trust them with a bicycle. So I normally say, get out of the way, let me see the computer. But you could try that for some of your basic maintenance, but I would not trust their opinion, honestly. So anyways, on your coolant overflow, this is an overflow. This is super important. Okay, I cannot stress the importance of this enough. Maybe number one winterizing thing. Do not put the wrong coolant in here. Know what you have. Notice mine says Dex Cool only. Your car should be labeled. If you put the wrong coolant in here, we've done it in Gabe's car. Somebody else did, not sure. Turns into mud and you will never get it cleaned out. You're talking pulling your engine apart. It's a nightmare. So if you're really not sure, ask somebody or look up online what coolant you're supposed to use. But anyways, mine says Dex Cool. That would be normal, but this car was actually converted. So the color of your coolant will tell you. Mine, I believe in this car, hopefully I'm right here, is orange. See? Orange. So that is the new universal coolant. Not, excuse me, not Dex Cool. So once you know you have the right fluid, I get that one. It's the long life. You're going to put it in here. Unfortunately, I don't know if you can see this upside down, but there's going to be a cold and hot marker on most vehicles. Just fill it to the cold and you'll be good. So that is your antifreeze. Now for winter or summer, same importance. It's called antifreeze, but it keeps your engine from overheating. So definitely check your antifreeze. I do it seasonally. Get the testing strips, or the Prestone has a bulb thing you can stick in here or stick in your radiator cap and make sure that you have enough antifreeze concentrate to water. Otherwise you can overheat or freeze your block. So sounds complicated. Get a tester, make sure you have the right kind of fluid, and you're good to go. So second thing, not important, but to me it is, I check my washer fluid, but I can already see it's about there. So in the winter, you want to make sure you have one that will not freeze. I use Rain-X year-round, but you want to make sure of one that has de-icer. If you have an area that freezes, you do not want this to freeze solid and break. That's a lot of fun. Or not have de-icer when you desperately need it. Second, I'm just right here, so I just go down the road. I do my brake fluid. Again, I don't have to open this if I don't want to, because there's markers on the side. It's right there at the max, so it's more than good. And I've never actually tested this, but if you want to get really complicated, open up the cap. If this is bulging out in this direction, you probably need serious brake work. So that's not something you want to see if you're looking at a car. It's not the rubber seal going bad. It's usually your power booster or your master cylinder. So check that. Mine looks good. You can also smell the fluid, look at the fluid. I know it's good. So in your car, most cars, if you can access the transmission, your stick's going to be color coded. It's red transmission. Some cars are yellow, as weird as that is. My Ford was orange. So you're going to want to, now this is a whole nother how you test it correctly. You're supposed to do it with the engine warm in neutral or in park. It depends on your car. I've already done that. Here's a cheat or a hack if you want to call it. I know exactly where it sits warm. So I know when I measured it, it was correct, and I checked it cool. So I know where it sits cool. But you want to check, and this is where you're going to get dirty. You want to check color, and I don't know if you can see this. You want it to be a nice pinkish red. It should not be brown. This is actually a good color. You just can't tell. The other thing you want to do, and I can't smell a thing right now, is smell it. If it smells burnt at all, it's got a nasty smell, but if it smells burnt at all, you may have a problem. If it's, you want to feel it, this is where the glove comes in handy. You want to feel it like this. At the very end, if you feel anything chunky, metal shavings, you have a problem. So that's when you want to have your transmission checked. But that's your basic check. Do it correctly with the engine warm and everything to check the actual level. I know this is good. So there's that check. You know, you definitely want to check if you don't know what you're looking for. Okay, so just you're looking at a car to buy. Look around. If you don't know any better, it's a valve cover, but look around, everything bolted on, everything that's got a crack, even if you don't know what it is, and look for leaking fluids. So for instance here, oops, I've got some antifreeze coming out of the bell housing, but we knew that was there. And actually no one's been able to fix it, so we just put up with it. The other thing you want to do, you know, I can't do it one-handed, check your air filter. I checked it last week. It's actually brand new, but that would be checked as well. If it looks dirty, if you separate the fins and you see crud in it, just change it to be safe. It's good for your gas mileage and better for your engine. So, but check for leaks and things like that. You know, next would be your oil. So again, color coded. Well, look at that. And I know I'm eating some oil, but see if you can pull it back. See those notches? In some cars, it's hash marks, little X's. I never keep it full. You don't want to keep it full. If you keep it completely full, that's extra wear and tear on all your seals. It's a lot of pressure. So you want to keep it 3/4 full. I need to actually add a quart. And then honestly is when you often need to change your oil. If you don't have any leaks and it eats a quart, that usually means your viscosity is gone and you need to change your oil. I know I have a leak. So anyways, with all the repairs we did and all the rebuilding we did, we can smell a leak. Again, can't find it. So it's just kind of weird, but I have high mileage. So check your oil. Also, you're going to smell. If it smells like gasoline, then you probably have some issues. And again, you want to feel it. That's why you see my gloves are already getting kind of dirty. You want to feel it. And if you feel metal shavings or if it looks like milk chocolate, you have a bad problem. So if it does, do not freak out. It may not be your head gasket. It could be your intakes. Still expensive, but always seek mechanical advice before you freak out. So another important winter thing is your battery. So this one, like most of your newer ones, can't be checked. We used to check the water levels if you still have one and there's 2 squares up here, then you can check the water levels. Wear gloves. Just use a screwdriver or something and prop it up. Make sure you don't get anything in the 4 little holes. Add distilled water if needed. I've actually never looked at my battery cables. I haven't had this car very long. I've actually never seen these. Laugh at me. I'm going to need 2 hands or whatever. But you want to check these, and I know my husband did this, and make sure there's no corrosion. What looks like white or blue, it looks powdery, like something grew on it. If you have that, clean it off with water and baking soda. It'll bubble right off. Brush it off, get it nice and dry, disconnect them before you do that. And then old school thing, put them back on. You can put Vaseline on them to kind of coat them, or they sell things at auto parts stores. But check that, make sure your battery's good. Go in and have it tested. Just about everywhere tests your battery for free. But again, they're morons. They hardly ever get it right. So watch what they're doing yourself. Ask a lot of questions. So that's your basic fluids, how to check your fluids. See this radiator cap? You can check this too if your car is absolutely cool. You never want to trust that this car is cool. So you want to go to the main radiator hose and squeeze it. See how easy that is to squeeze? I can also hear the fluid hitting this cap. If it was under pressure, you wouldn't hear that, and this would be hard as a rock. So I am definitely cool enough to open this, and you can open it up, check the fluid levels. I already know they're good. You know, I'll just show you guys, but I'm going to probably rip my glove here because there's something you need to know. And look at that mess. Yeah, I've got some crud in there, and I need to flush it. That's what you check. So, see that? You want to check your cap. You want to look for deposits here, which I have, but I don't have greasy or milky deposits. It's more like rust, so I need to check the fluid levels and probably flush and fill the fluid, which we knew we had to do. We're doing that this week anyways, but that way I can show you guys kind of what it looks like. Make sure it's back on good and tight. You push down when you turn it, so that's good. So I have checked all my basic fluids, and that's your basic check. If you're buying a car, always look at the car cold. I tell them all the same thing when I buy a car. If that engine is hot when I come to look at it, I'm turning back around. They will hide things by doing that, or you don't know if the car will start. So always look at a car cold. See if it, check all these things first, and then crank up the car. That way you know how it starts when it's been sitting. So cars will usually start better when they've already been turned off and on, so you don't know. So that's, you know, how you check everything. The other thing that you definitely want to check, and I'm scared because this probably is bad. I don't know if I can get it on here. You want to check your tires, and there is a hack to this too. Let me see if I can show you this on camera. Don't know if you can see this inside the main tread right there. It looks, I just got it wet. It looks like a little ridge or a bump inside of this tread. There's another one there to go around the tire. Let's see if I can find that one right there. That's called a wear indicator. If it's down to that, you definitely need a new tire. These are getting a little too close to that. I need to replace them. Probably do it before winter, probably do it now because tires are getting hard to get. So check all your tires. That's minimum. Check the wear indicator, and then, you know, make sure that you have good tires. Run your hands. I guess I can go back here. This is why I want to wear gloves too. You want to run your hand evenly across the whole tire and feel for anything odd that doesn't feel like even, like you've got a bump like that, or it's wearing on the inside or the outside. That means you've got tire and front end problems. So you would need to get that checked. Check all your brake lights, tail lights, all that fun stuff. Get your, you know, have your cold weather gear. You know, there's so many other things you can check if you're buying a car, but that's your basics. And, you know, your basic maintenance. If you know all that, you are going to get a lot more mileage out of your car than you think that you would. So I generally get 200,000-300,000 out of my cars easily, you know, and, you know, if you have questions on brands of fluid, all that fun stuff, just let me know. But I wanted to walk you guys through the basics. If you do all that, you're good for winter, you're good for any season. You should check everything weekly, even if you know it's perfect. I know where everything is in my car, but that way you know if you check it the next week and something's drastically changed, then you know you have a problem. So it's kind of just double checking and maintenance. So anyways, I can't think of anything else specifically winter. you know that you need to bring up. But check your antifreeze, check your washer fluid, make sure it's got de-icer so it won't freeze solid. And that's your basics. You know, anything else might be secondary. Battery for sure. First, you know, antifreeze, battery, wiper fluid, and you should be good. All right, guys, talk to you later.